are, of course, wondering why I brought you here tonight.
Actually, sir, after all these years, I just sort of go with it.
Take my arm. Harry, I'd like you to meet Professor Horace Slughorn.
What you see before you is a curious little potion. It does cause powerful infatuation or obsession.
I'm in love with her. Oh, all right, fine, you're in love with her. Have you ever actually met her?
No. Can you introduce me?
This year, the past holds a dark secret.
What you are looking at are memories. This is the most important memory I've collected.
Now get out of here at once!
It is also a lie.
And only he
You're the chosen one, Harry.
can unlock the truth.
Hey, she's only interested in you because she thinks you're the chosen one.
But I am the chosen one. Okay, sorry. Kidding.
From Warner Brothers Pictures.
Without this memory, we leave the fate of our world to chance. You must not fail.
You need us, Harry.
Fight back, you coward!
We could be on any street in any town up and down the country, but we're not, because this is Privet Drive, and at number 4 lives a very special young man indeed. So he's battled the Dementors, the Death Eaters, the Grindylows have tried to have him, not to mention he who must not be named. But all of his battles start right here at number 4, not least with Aunt Petunia's cooking. Having said that, I have been told she does make a mean cup of tea. We've come behind the magic during filming of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, the 5th film in the series. We'll be meeting some new faces, along with some old favourites, discovering the secrets of mystical creatures, wand battles, and magic stunts. Plus, we get the inside story on Harry Potter's first kiss.
At no point in the acting school of anything does someone tell you when you kiss on screen, you sort of don't actually use tongues, generally speaking.
But there's a hefty hike to that hormonal high. The story picks up where the last film ended, in the wake of the return of evil Lord Voldemort, with Harry as the only living witness.
It starts off with Harry sort of walking through this field, and you just, well, hopefully, if I've done my job, you get a sense that he has been very much isolated and despondent throughout the summer. He's gone off and he's seen this awful thing happen to Cedric. He's been tortured. He's come back and no one believes that any of it happened.
A terrifying Dementor attack leads to Harry facing trial and possible expulsion from Hogwarts School for using magic illegally. But, unbeknown to him, the forces of good are at work.
We get all these the rumours going around that Voldemort's back, and it's all really sort of high alert with all the wizards and witches.
Dumbledore is reforming the Order of the Phoenix, which is a secret society that he first formed when they first fought you-know-who.
They're like a team of warriors, good warriors, that are forged together to fight the dark forces. Kind of like the French resistance.
And Harry's dad was a member, as was his mum, which is why it's a really big thing for him, I think. Professor Moody, what are you doing here?
Rescuing you, of course.
Whilst awaiting trial, Harry is rescued from Privet Drive by members of the Order of the Phoenix and taken to their headquarters in London.
We believe Voldemort may be after something.
Sirius.
Something he didn't have last time.
You mean, like a weapon?
No, that's enough. He's just a boy.
The film follows Harry and his friends through the perilous times they now find themselves in, and we have exclusive access to the world in which it's all created.
Concentrate, Potter.
Normally, when you visit a film studios, there could be 3, 4, maybe 5 films in production at the same time. The thing that makes the Harry Potter studio so unique is that this is the only film being made here, and this place is vast. I could tell you that it's 180 acres or 500,000 square feet, or you could go and have a nose for yourselves. All of the Harry Potter films have been made here, and in every corner of this former engine factory, some kind of magic is being created. From breaking down costumes to styling wizards, from blowing storms to generating giants, from children's playgrounds to Hagrid's hut. You name it, they do it here. It's big, isn't it? But they can't do everything here, can they? Number 12, Grimmauld Place, is the home of Harry's godfather, Sirius Black, and headquarters to the Order of the Phoenix.
It's a house in a Georgian square, a typical Georgian London square. So that's where we started, and we started by looking for an exterior. And we found a location. In the end, we decided to build it because it's more convenient and actually more economical.
Yes, you heard right. They built even this here, complete with roads, trees, and snow-covered railings. And it's not the first time it's proved cheaper to do it themselves.
With Privet Drive, on the first film, we filmed Privet Drive on location, and we didn't finish what we had to shoot, so we had to go back for a second day, and the residents were asking for so much money, because we were Harry Potter, that it proved cheaper for us to build Privet Drive and film our own Privet Drive than it did to go back there a second time. And it's actually proved a fantastic economic decision because we filmed there again and again.
With only 2 streets built here, you'd have thought that if you had the address, it should be fairly straightforward to find a house. But I've been walking round and round the square for ages, and I just can't find number 12. Do you think the design team could have made some sort of mistake?
Number 12 is a magical place. It appears from behind a drain pipe, and the houses on either side move aside and make way for number 12 to appear.
I love the inside. You go into Grimmauld Place and there's this very, very narrow corridor with sort of material on the walls rather than like a wallpaper or anything.
So it's like the most decrepit, run-down, stately home in the middle of like an old townhouse, like an old sort of Chelsea townhouse that was run by someone out of Pink Floyd and got chucked out. It's just really gone to seed.
Wallpaper, fabric, peeling, damp and cobwebs.
I'd love to live in a place like that, but I mean, you can never take anyone back because there's loads of like little house elf skulls and things that are mounted in the walls.
Strange
and
creatures.
things. You just think, oh, no, you wouldn't want to bring a girl back.
I'm not sure if she'd be impressed with all the cobwebs. And...
Come inside. I'll show you my collection of dead elves' heads. That's never been a line that's worked.
After the break, Harry's fighting expulsion.
Charges?
The charges against the accused are as follows.
There's a new style of teaching magic at Hogwarts.
She feels that Hogwarts is not being run well enough and wants to get in there and clean the place up.
And we meet the Harry Potter fan whose dream came true when she won a starring part in the film.
Everyone, this is Luna Lovegood.
So things look really set to kick off now. Voldemort's back and Harry could even get booted out of Hogwarts. Right, I need to feed the meter because it's the only magic I know to beat the traffic wardens. I'll see you after the break.
Here we are.
Welcome back. We've come behind the magic of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, where things aren't looking too good for our young hero. Despite his terrifying encounter with Dementors, Harry faces being thrown out of Hogwarts, and as a result finds himself on trial here at the Ministry of Magic. Now this is the Ministry of Magic. They're still a week away from filming and already it looks extraordinary. When we eventually see it on the big screen, all these offices behind me, they're going to shoot thousands of feet up into the air. There's going to be a huge centaur and a witch right here as statues, and the whole place is going to be filled with hundreds and hundreds of witches and wizards. It already feels so opulent and so luxurious. Just makes you wonder what the toilets are going to look like. This is the largest set that has ever been built for a Harry Potter film. You could fit 50 double-decker buses in here. It took 22 weeks to build and appears in the film for less than 10 minutes. The 42 brass oil lamps in the windows of the offices were made specially for the film, and round the back there are 12 lifts, which not only go up and down, but backwards and forwards as well. Now, if you were thinking maybe these tiles would look great in your bathroom, you'd be wrong, because in fact, despite how brilliant they look, they're actually made from MDF. And there are over 30,000 of them.
We use a lot of the same materials as 60 Minute Makeover. And yet look what we do with them.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And here it is, finished, complete with fully functioning water feature. It really is quite breathtaking.
I would have to agree. I think it's absolutely stunning. It's amazing. Actually, just to give you a bit of history, these towers, these pillars, are the fireplaces that all of the wizards come through to work every day because they travel by flue powder through the chimneys.
So they all pop out down the bottom?
Yeah, kind of reminds me of sort of a really, really grand tube station. You know, the ones which have still got all the tiles and stuff.
In fact, some of the grand designs of the Victorian London Underground were the inspiration for this set. And all of it gets blown to smithereens in the climax of the film.
Oh, it's always good to blow things up. And everyone comes to watch you blow it up. We get about 50 or 80 people just showing up with their sandwiches, sort of waiting for the button to be pressed.
The whole place is rigged to explode. All this, and that's why nobody can have their mobile phones on, because it could evidently be triggered by that. So at any given moment, the glass could go, things out the walls, everything.
So is there
I'm sort of willing to happen.
I was going to say, is there someone on hand ready to jump on you to protect you? Do you have like a...
You, Ben.
Is that, that's
yes,
my role today?
Yeah.
And I kept saying to John, our special effects supervisor, it's safe, isn't it, John? He said, yeah. So just tell me where all the squibs are again. And squibs are these little explosive devices. And he said, well, there are 300 around there, and there are 400... And Dan, where is Dan exactly? Dan's here, right next to all the... Yes, it's perfectly safe. So I would then go to Dan and say, Dan, it's perfectly safe.
Don't move.
Don't move, but for God's sake, don't move.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. When Harry first comes here, he's on trial, deep in the bowels of the Ministry. And things aren't looking too good for him until a surprise witness turns up.
Witness for the defense. Albus Percival, Wulfric, Brian, Dumbledore.
You got our message that the time and place of the hearing had been changed, did you?
I must have missed it, but by a happy mistake, I arrived at the Ministry 3 hours early.
Dumbledore manages to clear Harry's name, leaving him free to return to Hogwarts, despite the fact that the Ministry refused to acknowledge that Voldemort is back.
Cornelius, I implore you to see reason. The evidence that the Dark Lord has returned is incontrovertible. He's not back.
So, with the trial over, Harry's starting to realise he's going to need all the friends he can get, no matter how kooky.
Everyone, this is Luna Lovegood.
Luna's a very odd character, and I think when he first meets her, he does what everyone else does as well, which is to dismiss her as being very, very odd.
What an interesting necklace.
It's a charm, actually. Keeps away the narwhals.
Even though she's quite eccentric and everybody kind of gives her a wide berth, Harry finds himself, in a way, drawn to her, and she's able to give Harry these notes and opinions about what he's dealing with, which are really oddly helpful to him.
Well, if I were you-know-who, I'd want you to feel cut off from everyone else. Because if it's just you alone, you're not as much of a threat. everyone says she's weird, but she's not really. She's just being completely honest about how she was brought up and what she knows.
For Harry Potter fan Evanna Lynch, winning the role of Luna Lovegood was a dream come true.
How big a fan are you?
That's hard to put into words. It's just, well, I read the books, started reading them when I was 8, and just since then, I've been obsessed with them. That's what I'm known for at home. And my room is cool. It's orange, and I have all my favourite quotes in turquoise around it.
That you've actually put on the wall yourself?
Yeah.
No way, how long has that taken?
It was my summer project.
So how did the filmmakers find Evanna?
We had 3 girls who we thought would be good, but they were going to act Luna. They weren't going to be Luna. And so we had this open call, and we put an ad on some news round in a couple of places.
My mum, she just said, I don't think you should. And she said, I'm really mean. She hates when I quote this, but she said, I had a snowball's chance in hell. But my dad, when he came home, I told him. I wasn't very hopeful, but he was like, yeah, I think you should go.
People started to show up, and it wasn't really more and more and more and more and more people. And I think we ended up with around 20,000 people. It was ridiculous. It was unbelievable. And people, you had 45-year-old women, you had, men. It was really quite kind of, some of it was a little weird, I have to say.
And they made us say our name and where we came from, and I did that. And then they were whispering about us. And
was that a bit weird?
Yeah, I was so nervous because, I've been wanting to do that for so long, and it's just up to these 2 women, and just by saying your name, it seemed kind of bizarre.
There were some incredible people, but there was only one Luna.
And they said, okay, you're coming for a screen test, and I was, oh, that's good. And then they said, you're going to be doing the screen test with Daniel Radcliffe. And I was thinking, oh, it must be big then. And then the director was calling up that night, and then I started really losing. And then they rang me and they said, please don't shave your eyebrows. I said, I don't shave my eyebrows. But then my sister said, well, if they're looking at your eyebrows, it must mean you're very close. So...
What a bizarre thing to say.
I know, and I don't shave my eyebrows.
Well, why would you?
I know.
Evanna's a huge Potter fan and knows the books inside out, knows the books far better than any of us do.
I always get nervous about talking about anything in front of Evanna because you sort of go, oh God, if I say something that's not quite right about that, you'll pick me up on it because you know everything. So she is, if any of us ever have a question about what a spell does or what, you just go to Evanna. She's become she's like a walking book.
Harry discovers that he and Luna have a connection.
Which is that they can both see these creatures called Thestrals, which are invisible to everyone, bar those who have actually seen death.
You're not going mad. I can see them too.
With the Thestrals, as with every creature, what we start with is a series of drawings. We then take it to the maquette stage, which are basically small tabletop models like these, that are discussion points, so that what looks good on paper can then be analysed and walked around and discussed.
The designs were a great starting place, and then we as it wasn't a creature that could be fully realised and built as a sculpture, we took the designs into the computer and finished the design in the computer, working on the transparency of the skin, how transparent the wings were when they open the wings, and how much light comes through, and how black they were as well, because they're a very black, dark creature, and sort of realising that on the screen is quite difficult sometimes.
The film presented another much larger difficulty to the special effects team. His name was Grawp.
Grawp is Hagrid's half-brother.
We've really pushed the technology, we've really pushed it to what we believe is the closest sort of human CG form, because Hagrid's brother is basically the humanoid.
Grawp is 16 feet tall. An experienced large-scale puppeteer was used to give the actors an accurate position for their eye lines. But how did they create the face itself?
We cast an actor called Tony Maudsley as a reference for Grawp. We did a couple of days shooting with Tony to gather facial reference for emotions and different stages of emotion, because a lot of Grawp's personality has to come through a non-speaking role, you have to believe and empathise with him through the look in his eyes and the way he sort of looks away in a coy kind of way when he's talking to Hermione. So it was very important that we got all the subtleties and nuances into the facial performance.
A newly developed technique using computer analysis of the muscle groups in the actor's face was used to do this.
Well, half-brother, really. He's completely harmless.
There's something very endearing about him, but Harry and Ron just find him just a bit scary, a bit disgusting, a bit, oh God.
Scrobby! Down here, you great buffoon!
But it's a monstrous thing in a small, cuddly package that they need to be more concerned about.
We also wish to welcome our new Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher, Professor Dolores Umbridge.
Every new school year brings a new Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher, and the arrival of Professor Dolores Umbridge marks a significant change in the way things are done round here.
The Ministry are convinced that what Dumbledore's up to is he wants to take over the Ministry, which is nonsense. And so what they do is they send this teacher into Hogwarts called Dolores Umbridge. And Dolores Umbridge is like this genetic splice between Doris Day and Freddy Krueger. And she's a lunatic.
I think on the surface, everything's going to be even lovelier here at Hogwarts, but underneath all of that, of course, the things that she says are quite threatening, I think. And I think it's only Hermione who really picks up on it.
There's nothing in here about using defensive spells.
Using spells? Well, I can't imagine why you would need to use spells in my classroom.
Hermione is quite good at judging characters, like new people that come onto the scene, and from the very beginning she has a bad feeling about her. She, on the outside, as an appearance, she wears pink lipstick, she wears sort of mumsy cardigans and likes kittens and fluffy things, and she speaks in a very sweet voice, but there's something not quite right about her.
Harry really despises her. She is a baddie who is coming from a place where the goodies are supposed to be. She's from the Ministry of Magic, who are sort of supposed to be on the side of right, and in this film obviously aren't. And Umbridge is sort of the angel of evil sent by the Ministry of Magic.
I don't think she's sort of an evil person per se. She really, really believes that these kids are being exposed to terrible, influences, and that she has to help them.
We're not going to use magic.
You will be learning about defensive spells in a secure, risk-free way.
Well, what use is that? If we're going to be attacked, it won't be risk-free.
It smacks a wee bit of, health and safety to me. Don't touch it, don't try it, don't do anything. I'll tell you how to do things. You don't have to do it. And of course, how can kids learn anything unless they do it?
Things at Hogwarts are far worse than I feared.
She feels that Hogwarts is not being run well enough and wants to get in there and clean the place up.
Umbridge starts sort of banning everything, banning Quidditch. You're not allowed to use magic, and so she everyone hates her.
And then finally she does take over the whole school, and which we're all kind of livid about, and kind of the protection of Dumbledore's been lost. So it's quite vulnerable while she's there.
She does get what she wants and what she set out to do, and then it goes wrong.
Umbridge isn't the only one with a job to do around here. I've also been entrusted with a very important task.
3, 2, 1, action!
That seemed to go pretty well, don't you think?
I think you just need a little more authority. Bring the action from down in the sternum, and that would be great.
I was a bit worried.
Practice now.
Yeah,
because we're a bit high in the voice.
So lower.
Yeah, just lower.
3, 2, 1.
Deeper.
3, 2, 1. Action.
Perfect. It's a real authority.
Oh yeah.
You see the actors quake.
It feels a bit more Shakespearean as well.
Oh, it's excellent.
That's the feel you're going for.
That's half the job. Saying action is half the job.
Coming up, Harry and his friends fight back with a secret army. Voldemort's followers reveal what gets them going.
She probably has an inappropriate response to causing pain, i.e. it's fantastic fun.
And I learn how to create some magic of my own. See you after the break.
3, 2, 1, action!
With every Harry Potter film, the sets get bigger and better, but it's always reassuring to see the ones we've got to know so well. Dumbledore's office, the Great Hall, and this, the Gryffindor Common Room, never get cleared away like any other set on any other film. They're always here, even when they're not filming, and that's extraordinary. And it's in this very room that Hermione persuades Harry that some drastic action is needed.
We've got to be able to defend ourselves. And if Umbridge refuses to teach us how, we need someone who will.
She's the brains behind everything. I mean, you know, she's quite canny and she knows what to do, and she knows that. And actually, it's not you know, rebellion for the sake of rebellion. It's, as with Hermione, it always is. There is a practical side to it, which is that, you know, she feels they're not learning and she feels they need to.
You all know why we're here. We need a teacher. Proper teacher. One who's had real experience defending themselves against the dark arts.
It's the first time she recognises that actually not doing what she's told might actually be the best way to go.
That's extraordinary.
I know, which is madness. But it's a really cool scene because, you know, there's this wonderful line that Ron says.
Who are you and what have you done with Hermione Granger?
She's running around breaking all the rules and trying to set up this sort of rebellious army.
Harry and his friends form what's called Dumbledore's Army, which is this kind of guerrilla group of young wizards, if you like, and they're banding together and practicing together to learn the magical skills that will help defend them against dark wizards.
I'm hopeless. No, you're not. You're just flourishing your wand too much. Try it like this. Expelliarmus!
They're a young Order of the Phoenix. They're set up to combat Voldemort, and Harry becomes their teacher. In effect, the defense against the dark arts teacher.
Stupefy!
Professor Lupin was Harry's defense against the dark arts teacher in the third film.
From what I can understand from teachers that I've spoken to, you tend to emulate the teacher that you really looked up to. And I think as Harry is this teacher and this leader, he sort of looked up to Lupin, and so he's sort of emulating him.
When I first saw Dan after I'd been away for a long time on this, I came back and it's good to see you, Dan. I haven't seen you for a while. And he said, you'll be very proud of me, David. When I play the Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher, I've taken a few leaves out of your book and I try to play it a little like Lupin would take control of the class, and he very proudly told me he wears a cardigan.
I don't know what the thought process must have been that morning, a subconscious thing of saying, I'll go for the jumper. No, I'll wear a cardigan today, I think.
He thinks it's kind of rather quite unfuddy-duddy, although I always wore the cardigan in a kind of Kurt Cobain way, you know.
So, wearing this inspirational woolly garment, Harry sets about the job in hand.
He teaches us all these new sort of spells and how to defend ourselves.
For everyone else, everything they learn is theory, and they probably won't have to use it. But with Neville and Harry, both of whom has essentially lost their parents to Voldemort and to the Death Eaters, it's very much a reality.
14 years ago, a Death Eater named Bellatrix Lestrange used the Cruciatus curse on my parents. She tortured them for information, but they never gave in. I'm quite proud to be their son.
No one ever knew that Neville's parents were in the state that they were in the mental hospital, and they've been like that since he was a child. No one knew that. It was touched on in the fourth book when you heard that his parents had been tortured by a Death Eater, but in this year is the first time you see the extent of the damage.
We're going to make them proud, Neville. That's a promise.
Dumbledore's army trained in the Room of Requirement, a set which pushed the actors' endurance to the limits.
We spent so much time in there, and it's like an oven with the mirrors and all the lights.
And there was a fire, and with the reflection of all the mirrors, it became quite a hot set.
The hottest place on earth.
Was it kind of like being in a greenhouse?
Yeah, oh no, you don't have fires in greenhouses.
Sławek Idziak, who lit the film, he rented every single light in England to light the Room of Requirements. And Stuart, who designs the sets, had put all this lovely, intricate metalwork on the windows, and they started to melt.
Heat wasn't the only thing to cause a problem. It took 5 special effects artists 3 months to remove the crew's reflections from the mirrors. But not all the special effects in this room were so high-tech.
Harry's teaching us all the dueling. It's just a simple sort of disarming thing, and we all take it in turns to do it, and we all sort of pair up, and me and Hermione sort of do it, and she beats Ron, and Ron goes flying.
It's a good girl power moment, good quality girl power moment.
I let her do that. It's good manners, isn't it? It's completely intentional. That was really good because I got to do this stunt where I get pulled back.
So how did I do that? Were you on a wire?
I was on a wire, and basically I didn't realise it was this sort of simple. Basically, a sort of a really big bloke climbs up a ladder and jumps off it with a rope, and that pulls you back.
Action! Fantastic!
I know, yeah. I thought it was more complicated than that.
Dumbledore's army are wise to be prepared. They may be the only ones who believe it, but there's a war coming.
Even though Voldemort isn't a big feature of our story, you can feel him everywhere.
He's trying to get inside Harry's head, into his mind. These moments where Harry sees himself in reflection for a moment, he becomes Voldemort. Constant little sort of hits of the spirit of Voldemort coming inside him, possessing him.
This connection between me and Voldemort, what if the reason for it is that I am becoming more like him? I just feel so angry all the time. And what if after everything that I've been through, something's gone wrong inside me? What if I'm becoming bad?
I want you to listen to me very carefully, Harry. You're not a bad person.
As Voldemort is still in hiding, most of his work is done by an army of loyal supporters, the Death Eaters, led by Lucius Malfoy.
Lucius Malfoy. He's such a delicious character. I think of him more as Lucius than Lucius. I've been living a public life as a diplomat, an aristocrat and stuff, but secretly I've been campaigning and working towards my lord's return. And now I'm in my element, of course, because he's back.
You know, you really should learn to tell the difference between dreams and reality.
We were a secret organisation. See, I couldn't help but reach my wand there. But we were a secret organisation, and occasionally we made forays into public, like at the Quidditch World Cup. But now the kid gloves are off, and the battle lines are drawn, and there's no point being hidden anymore, which is a great relief for Lucius, because he can actually finally show his nasty side, given that I've been so cuddly up till now.
He knows how to play. Itchy, bitty, baby. Potter.
Well, Bellatrix is Sirius's cousin. She is a follower of Voldemort. She is in Azkaban when the film begins.
She looks pretty damn evil. She really does. Quite scary.
After escaping from Azkaban prison, Bellatrix is thrilled to resume her position in the Dark Lord's ranks.
I'm trying to work out what it is about her that makes her so evil, because she really is a very evil character, isn't she?
I think she's probably a sadist. She definitely has a personality disorder, I'd say.
Neville Longbottom, is it? How's Mum and Dad?
I mean, our main thing is that she tortured Neville Longbottom's parents to madness. She loves Crucio. That's, one of the spells.
Yeah.
She absolutely, that's her favourite spell.
The outlawed spell, isn't it?
And she probably has an inappropriate response to causing pain, i.e. it's fantastic fun. And then she's been in 14 years in Azkaban. I think the mental disability's even sort of tipped,
pushed even further.
Yeah.
The imminent war between good and evil is hurtling them all towards some major wizarding battles, which posed a new challenge to the filmmakers.
You've seen the kids, well, not kids anymore, but you saw them when they were kids training to use wands, and they're training at school to use these things. They're pretty basic manoeuvres, but you finally see what happens when, the equivalent of Jedis, when the wizards who really know what they're doing come face to face. Sirius and I have a fabulous wand battle. And in order to do that, they brought in a dancing coach and a fight coach, and
So a choreographer?
Yeah, and we worked out, there's always a fight choreographer, but what we had to do was find a way of fighting with wands that wasn't traditional fighting, that's not sword fighting, and it's not, it's something other.
If you're shooting guns, then invariably, they're going to bang.
Yeah.
There may be the odd time where where it's silent, but most of the time, you're firing a gun, and it gives you a certain, it'll give you the energy, it'll give you the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And if you're fighting with swords, you know, you are connecting. And so with these sequences, it's very abstract.
So they've invented a vocabulary, a kind of physical grammar of what you can and can't do with wands. And we've come up with 5 attacks and 5 defenses and various ways of doing it.
But specific movements.
Specific moves, but
names.
then you start tailoring them. So obviously, Lucius Malfoy being who he is, he's got great form. He's kind of an Olympic fencer. Sirius Black has his own street style and stuff he's picked up in Azkaban.
Which is all very well, but what's it called? Did you have much training for the wanding this time? Is it called wanding or the wandmanship? What is the...
Wandering, yeah.
The wandering.
Yeah.
The wandering is... You had a wanderer.
Wandbat.
I think Wabat.
Wabat.
But Wabat is
no, I think a good wand battling, wand fight.
Wandering sounds good. Wandering's not that. It can't be right.
Wanderton.
I think we should just have outtakes of Ben coming up with loads of different words.
Wandering, wombat. Did you come up with a definitive term for what it was? Then?
I think wand dueling is probably the best one because it kind of has the qualities of fencing in a way.
The cast learned the 5 attacking and 5 defensive moves under the watchful eye of choreographer Paul Harris.
We've been very careful not to allow it to get too flouncy, is the word that's been, bandied around.
It's not flouncy.
It's definitely not flouncy. It's quite violent, I would say.
Yes, that's it. It was good to have Paul around. He could, being, I think, a dancer by training, he could help us just, whatever move we were doing, help guide us towards giving a seriousness of intent.
You do feel a little bit silly. Going like that. But once they put all
the magic
on it, when they put the sound on and all the lights coming out of it, it'll look fantastic, I'm sure.
So, following in the footsteps of some great wizards, I decided to have a go for myself.
Position 1 is above the head, preparation with the wand above the head. Now you're about to shoot the camera.
No, I don't want to do that.
So make sure that the wand is, because remember the damage is not being done with the wand; it's what's coming out of the wand.
Yes.
Right. So just bend your knees slightly so you're well grounded.
Yeah. Good stance.
So position 1, from here, whip the wand forward, bring it into eye line, and then just retract it backwards so you retain the form.
It's like a whip.
It's like a whip, except a bit kind of wussy at the back here.
Oh, right, okay.
Keep
a weedy whip.
Keep this form here.
Oh, I need higher. Oh.
That's it.
All right. So lower shoulder.
Yeah,
gosh.
Keep that nice and clear.
It feels like it's going a bit left.
And then really deliver it and attack. That's it.
Just dislocate my elbow. That shouldn't happen, should it? Right, sorry. I've got to concentrate. Low.
No, at the moment it's fine. That's it.
Oh, gosh.
Eye line.
So difficult to control. Right, eye line.
Eye line and. Yes, exactly. Now, did you hit anything, do you think?
I think I might have got one of the sparks who was hiding around the corner.
After a bit of practice, I started to feel like less of a muggle.
I always muff that one.
I'm very good at it, actually, yeah. So I did get a wand blister. In fact, it's dried up now, but it was quite painful and it was hindering my
Your
style.
wand technique?
Yeah.
How is
my wand is actually different from everybody else's because it's crooked. It looks a bit like a talon.
Yeah, an extension of your nail.
Yeah, but they took it very seriously, the wands and the spells, and we had to learn all these different... It's a bit like... it wasn't just enough striking a pose, you got to really intend to hurt.
Come on, cousin!
After the break, all of this training is put to the test as we find out what Voldemort is up to. Plus, we get the inside story on Harry Potter's first kiss.
No idea. The first sort of few takes, we were both pretty nervous, and we wouldn't say anything to each other after. We'd just sort of be but like 8-year-olds going.
See you then.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting there. I was never allowed to flick little sticks like this when I was a kid. This is great.
Why not us?
Harry and his friends have spent months honing their skills to defend themselves And just as well because the pressing business of the fight against the rising dark forces rears its ugly head all too soon. Voldemort has a powerful grip on Harry's mind and tricks him into rushing to the Ministry of Magic with Dumbledore's army, only to discover they've been lured into a trap when they find a prophecy with Harry and Voldemort's names on it.
You saw only what the Dark Lord wanted you to see. Now hand me the prophecy.
You do anything to us, I'll break it.
So what is it about the prophecy that they're all so desperate to get their hands on it?
The prophecy is basically the central ingredient in Voldemort's plan for world domination. I won't say what the prophecy actually is, what it says, but it is very important. And the thing about it is that throughout the film, we hear about people sneaking into the Department of Mysteries, where the Hall of Prophecy is, and dying. And what they've actually been doing is trying to get the prophecy for Voldemort.
The Hall of Prophecies holds many secrets, not least in those of its own design.
The Hall of Prophecies, we actually decided to make a complete CG environment for the actors because the set design was such that it could never physically be built. It's an infinite set of shelves with millions of prophecy balls on them. So we decided to green screen the actors and build a complete environment in the computer.
The battle that commences in the Hall of Prophecies leads them to another part of the Ministry.
This incredible room is called the Veil Room. This is the climax of the film where Harry's chasing to get the prophecy. He's got his hands on it, but then Lucius Malfoy comes in, gets it off him, but then Sirius comes in and clobbers him. As you can see, stuntmen are in at the minute for all of the main actors. There's Gary's over there because they're off relaxing, being powdered and watered, all that sort of stuff. I just want to know where my standing is.
Each shot in this complex sequence requires careful planning.
Get away from my godson.
What you've just seen is really the kind of the springboard to a big wizard extravaganza. So we're all armed with our wands.
Armed to the teeth with your wands.
So it's kind of like a big. It's sort of like well, it's sort of a big gunfight, really, but with wands. You know, it's the sort of Magnificent Seven.
This battle sees the Order of the Phoenix and Dumbledore's army fight side by side against the Death Eaters.
Level ones, please, guys.
That's it, right there. We're just on the edge of set. Got to be really quiet because they're going to go for a take. I can't believe how close we are.
Roll camera, please.
So, this is it. This is what they've all been fighting over. This prophecy holds the key to Harry and Voldemort's future. The big question is, what's its secret? Well, I could tell you, but that'd be too easy. You're going to have to find out for yourselves.
So that's the story in a nutshell. But aren't we missing something? Because for Harry Potter fans, there's another big reason to see this film. It's been a long time coming. But our hero finally gets his first kiss.
No idea.
If you think back to the Goblet of Fire, you'll remember all the teenage angst. Harry asked Cho to go to the ball, but she said no because of her boyfriend Cedric. But then Cedric went and got himself killed off by Voldemort. Bad luck for him. Great news for Harry, though, because the way's clear for him to get stuck in with Cho.
A little higher.
Harry has got a thing for Cho. You know that the clock is ticking and that something's going to happen between them.
I'm okay. I'm okay. She's always seen walking around lonely and just mourning over Cedric. And so I think that's probably got to do with her liking Harry as well and wanting to have something to do with him.
Some affection as well.
Yeah. And so they get on.
They get it on?
Yeah.
Is that what it said in the script when you read that scene? It said, Cho and Harry get it on?
Not quite.
It's very, very odd relationship. Me and David talked to a bereavement counsellor before this film started. We wanted to find out, about how people deal with grief. And she said the amount of times she meets people who have lost someone and then gone out with that person's best friend. And so that's essentially what's happened with Harry and Cho.
I mean, the scene itself was there's so many emotions involved because she's, just before the kiss, she talks to Harry about Cedric and how she's really upset. And then at the same time, she's telling him through her eyes how she really likes him. It's just learning all this. Makes me wonder whether if he'd known it.
Cedric did know this stuff. He was really good. It's just Voldemort was better.
Had you sat down with Katie and sort of said, OK, right, this is the score. We've got to do this kiss. This is how we're going to do it. Was it something that just happened naturally? Did David offer some advice?
No, nothing. None of that.
So nervous, sleepless nights and all
Really?
the rest. Yeah, I was a bag of nerves.
Did you talk to Dan about it before you did it?
We spoke about it briefly, but it was kind of awkward talking about it. You don't really want to go into detail and how we're going to go about it.
At no point in the acting school of anything does someone tell you when you kiss on screen, you sort of don't actually use tongues, generally speaking.
Right.
You sort of just, even if your mouth is open, you don't use tongues.
Don't stick your
So
tongue.
it's sort
Why
of like,
don't you?
Well,
Is it like
I think it's a courtesy thing.
Oh, okay.
More than anything else, Ben.
In case you've been eating something nasty.
Yeah, or
okay.
something like that. And so, fortunately, I knew that much. Otherwise, Katie would have been getting a very, very terrifying shock, I think.
People would just continuously come up to me and tell me that it was when it was happening and how they were all going to be there watching.
And were they?
No, there was, I think, about 10 people on set, just people who were really needed there.
For the first sort of few takes, we were both pretty nervous, and we wouldn't say anything to each other after. We'd just sort of be but like 8-year-olds going, and but after that, you know, it was fine. We settled down, and it was cool. And it was, but there was this ridiculous story in one of the papers. I forget which one. But it was like, I'd said in an interview that we probably did the kiss about 30 times, which was true. You probably do any scene about 30 times in total, but because it was the kiss, they made it sound like I'd been, like, requesting more goes at it or something.
Didn't quite get it that time. Can I have another go?
No, sorry, yeah.
In fact, when I said cut, you know, I said cut, several to cut.
Everyone who's worked with Dan since he was small were just dying to see this scene because they just want to see him grown up into, you know, a young adult.
Man,
yeah.
There was a certain amount of, oh my goodness, some people felt some people couldn't look, there were some people who cried, some people were genuinely moved by it.
It was good in the end. It was nerve-wracking, though.
But you haven't watched it back?
No, God, no.
You're going to have to watch it back at some point.
No, I could turn away. I mean, I don't think I will. It'll be very... I mean, thing is, when I watch Harry, I don't always see myself, so I'm just hoping that will be one of the moments where I don't really see myself doing it. But otherwise, that would be a bit embarrassing.
Mistletoe.
Probably full of nargles, though.
What are nargles?
No idea.
Was Dan a good kisser?
Yes, he was. He was good. I'm not just saying that because I have to.
He was
He
good.
was. He was.